Hi, my name is Sarah Rubin, and I'm the Regional Marketing Director for Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation's Mid-Atlantic region. And today, in conjunction with Cindy Bishop Worldwide, we're going to dive into Generation X. So with that, let's dive in, and I will share my screen. Okay. So Generation X, who are they? Well, Generation X refers to people born from approximately 1965 to 1980, and they're far, far different than the generations before and after them. So very different than baby boomers and very different than millennials. They do, however, account for approximately 20% of the population. So again, their footprint is very different than that of millennials or of baby boomers. They are a slightly smaller generation. So what are they like? Well, they're very, very educated. They value education. They've gone through kind of the various levels of education. And so they really understand things from an educated background. They're very independent. So this generation is really defined by being kind of alone and responsible for themselves at a very young age. So they are very goal-oriented and independent as adults. They don't rely on so many other people or other things. And they are very practical. They're not kind of the dreamers. They really are goal-oriented and practical. They don't want to think about things that are unattainable for them. They really want to think about how 2 + 2 will equal 4. They are, like I said, they're incredibly independent thinkers. They don't need a ton of outside influence to make decisions or come to conclusions. They really can do that all kind of on their own. They are the first generation of gamers. So YouTube, platforms of that nature were actually developed by people who fall into this generation. They have barely half of the market share of baby boomers and millennials. So as I said a little bit earlier, they really do have a smaller footprint, but that footprint makes a pretty big impact. They are the first generation of what people call latchkey kids. They're really, like I said, they were responsible for themselves from a really young age. They were watching their siblings. They were coming home alone after school. They didn't have a tremendous amount of supervision as children because their boomer parents were all kind of at work and not really thinking about childcare or things of that sort. These kids were really kind of responsible for themselves, which has defined them really as a generation, pushing them to that independent mindset. They do need a work-life balance. Nothing can kind of take up their entire time. It becomes just too much and very overwhelming for them. They are goal-oriented in that set. So they need to hit their goal and then move on. They don't want to spend all of their time focused on one thing or another. They are very flexible. So if you need to change plans, that's okay. They don't expect anything to kind of be written in stone. They are informal. They don't deal well with the very formal way of communication. They want things that are a little bit more relaxed. They value a good joke. They like some sarcasm. They really are good with that informal banter. They are very, very diverse and they appreciate diversity. And they are technologically savvy. So don't think that they can't use various social media platforms or technologies to complete the home buying process. So what do you need to do? Well, realistically, you don't have to do so much because many realtors are part of this generation or have parents or are the parents of this generation. So connecting with them is much easier than understanding millennials or Gen Zers. This is very, very kind of well known to most of you. They are not a confusing generation. They're actually the generation we find that most realtors can directly relate to. So as always, you can follow along with me on social media for marketing tips and tricks on all of the generations and our various social media platforms. Or you can always visit cindybishoptraining.com for videos and resources to take your real estate game to that next level. Thank you so, so much for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you soon.